This is about how loud I'll talk, I reckon.
Yeah, cool. Oh, look, you're on the Debrief with Dave O'Neill. I'm sitting in the car with the comedy legend, Tommy Little, ladies and gentlemen.
Ruff, ruff.
Just done a gig at the Grandview Hotel.
And I'm a bit bitter.
Why are you bitter?
Because you told me, do the podcast and I'll give you a lift home.
Yeah.
And we've been sitting in your car.
Yeah.
I thought, great, this will save me money on Uber. We've been sitting in your car for 20 minutes outside the pub trying to fucking clip a microphone on. And you're driving now with the headphones in.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
And I'm holding a lapel mic in
I could do without the mics. No.
I'm happy. Don't spend more time changing it now.
No, exactly. I know, it's a pain in the ass.
So do we debrief about the gig? Is that what happens?
Yeah, that's why the podcast is called the Debrief.
I should have read that.
No, but that's okay. But your flatmate's been on it, Luke.
Yeah. Well, can I give you driving instructions as well?
Yeah, I think I know
just
where to go.
Right up the tyres and hang a U-bolt and drop me exactly where you dropped Luke.
Yeah. And that's not far from here. That's the thing.
No. Which is also why I agreed to it.
Yeah, good on you. Appreciate it because you're busy. I know you're busy.
No, but this is fun. Even when you said, can you do a podcast after the gig? One of my friends was at the gig and I thought I want to have a beer with him.
With Tom, another Tom.
Yeah. He's actually a creative superstar. Anyway.
Is he?
Yeah. Worked for many years at the project, and he's
that guy.
Mate, he's an absolute gun.
Yeah. They've come to that gig before.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
But
I got to say, he produced the Comedy Festival Gala this year.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
And you dismissed him and didn't even say hello.
No, I said hello.
No.
Oh man, I should have sucked up more. I know his girlfriend. I've met his girlfriend before.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, she's very nice. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So is this
because no showbiz people come to the Grandview. Zero.
Well, but you would have left tonight and said no showbiz people come to the Grandview. But he was there.
Except we did meet a large gentleman on the way out who knew you and
Don't know we can't talk about that. In case we've got it wrong. I need to pretend I know that man.
But he was a
No.
I'm not going to say his name, but he claimed to be.
Don't say the person. The other person.
He claimed to be not Charlie, but
yeah, let's say Charlie.
Richo's manager, but yes. we couldn't work out who Richo was.
Yeah, and then gave me a real intimate detail of I was with you and your dad last time that we met, and I remember the time that he's talking about. But I don't remember meeting him.
He was a big bloke. You'd think you'd remember that bloke.
Well, and then he got into what can only be described as a definite drug dealer car. And that's why I'm very scared to mention his name.
Right, yeah.
Because that was a drug dealer car, and then his mate went to the other side of the road and got in another drug dealer car.
And they're hanging around a pub like that. Interesting.
Mate, that's my crowd.
Yeah, that's your crowd. Do you reckon he was at the show, though?
Oh.
Or do you reckon he was just in the TAB?
Do you want my arrogant answer or my actual answer?
Yeah, your actual answer.
No chance.
Yeah, because he was actually
didn't even mention it.
He was like, you were just there having a drink with your mates.
Yeah. He just had 2 suitcases for no reason.
Yeah, he was carrying stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the things you see.
Hey, so can we talk about the funniest moment that I missed tonight?
Yeah, go on.
Because I think it's great. Both you and
Des.
So you obviously host a gig, and Des did the same bit of crowd work, but I think it's a really good bit of crowd work.
Yeah.
Where you spoke to 2 separate people who both said they worked
Lenny
from home.
and Mick.
Yep.
They didn't know each other. And
yes.
They both said they worked from home.
And you said, well, I guess you must know each other.
Yeah, and then I said, you should hang out.
Yeah, which is funny.
Yeah.
Great. And then Des, who didn't hear you do it,
exactly.
got up in the middle bracket, said, you work from home, well, you two must know each other.
He said the same 2 things. He said, you should, do you know each other? No, you should hang out.
Yeah.
And everyone's laughing.
Mike, that's funny.
You should have got up and did the same.
Well, I told you I would.
Yeah.
And then I got up there and I did. It felt too contrived.
But you did a lot of... Your crowd work's very good. and they love you.
Well,
The people love you.
I mean,
You're not scared of talking to the people, are you?
Of crowd stuff?
Yeah.
It's my favourite.
Yeah,
you know,
crowd stuff.
I also think, and this has been to my detriment as well, but I also think, you know, the moment when things either go great, and that's exciting, or it goes bad, and everybody, I love falling, feeling like you're trying to grab a branch on the way down.
Oh, really? You like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's living, I reckon. It feels really live and fun.
Yeah, I don't like that feeling, but it's certainly happened to me a lot. Where you've gone, you know, I'm not pregnant, or, you know, that kind of...
But isn't that... So, because...
But people always remember that.
Well, yeah, exactly. And stand-ups, like, I love stand-up, but I also love the idea of being funny in situations when your back's up against a wall, and so you have to be funny. And I'm sure you're exactly the same. I find funny things funny. I also find things that are really shit funny. So for me, either way that it goes, it's going to be funny. Because either it's going to be funny, which is funny, or it's going to be fucking awful.
Yeah, awful.
Which is also very funny.
That's very true, actually. That's very true.
And that's what makes the gig exciting, right? Because otherwise it's another gig.
There's some comics that don't do crowd work at all.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, you know what? It's very handy for certain types of gigs, I reckon, like corporate gigs or footy clubs where everyone knows everyone. I reckon that's good for that.
Well,
I just like it because it just breaks up your act a bit.
But my thing is also do what you want to do. So I would never say... So if someone doesn't do crowd work, I'll never go, well, that means they're lesser.
No.
But if someone does all crowd work, I'll never say that. But I just think, well, occasionally I like doing crowd work.
Yeah.
Because I like those situations and I like being fun.
You're probably like me. You're sort of interested in people too.
Yes, absolutely.
Whereas some comics, I remember Tom Gleason said to me, "Why do you talk to the crowd?" And I said, I'm just interested." He goes, I couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah. But he does a more terrifying thing, which I love as well, where he said to me when he got up and was prepping for a comedy festival show, where he said he just had an idea, but he didn't have essentially like jokes. Like he writes it on stage, and he goes, "What am I going to be? Not funny for 10 minutes." And I was like, "That's the equivalent of exactly what we were talking about before. Like that's crowd work without the crowd work. Do you know what I mean? That's just being up there and going, wow, we've got to make it work."
Writing on stage? Do you write on stage? Or?
Yeah. Because I can't sit. I can think of nothing less funny and detrimental for me than sitting there and staring at a computer.
Yeah.
Also, I think the funny thing about sometimes, so McGregor obviously is one of my best mates. And
you live with him?
Yeah, and we tour together. And we would do
tour together?
Yeah, and we would do stuff on stage together where he would, in his act, he wouldn't really do crowd work, right? But when we're on stage together, we'll do get up at the start together, and then one of us do a set and the other one will do a set. But that start is usually just riffing.
Yeah.
And he's amazing at that.
He's funny. He's funny on Hughes's show, as you are too. Hughes, you have a problem. He's very funny on that show.
Man, he's got the funniest bones ever. So he, in any situation, he's funny. But I reckon he'd tell you, or in his act, would not lean towards that.
No.
But when you put him in it, he's so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. He's got funny bones. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
And looks funny.
Well, that's rough, but yeah. I did a behind the scenes for the Masked Singer, the Channel 10 show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hughes's one of the judges.
Yeah. So I chatted with Hughesy, like a sit-down interview with Hughesy, and the first, this is me, and the first...
Oh, you were just here. This is the quickest debrief
I know, it's great.
Pull over.
And so the first question I said to Hughesy, I said, do people know it's you, or do they think someone has just rocked up in a ridiculous mask? and he just goes, straight away, he goes, "I knew you'd ask that." He goes, "No one's done it yet. I knew you'd ask that." And it made me feel so cheap and horrible.
Yeah, but no one's done it yet.
No one's done it yet.
No one's done it yet.
Yeah.
What, yeah, right. Well, he said that, he wouldn't tell me, because he knows I'm a gossip. I said, tell me some of the singers. He goes, "I can't tell you." He goes, "But I know," he goes, "I actually knew all of them." Which, and Hughes is not into music. So
No, but he is into arrogance.
Oh, yeah, okay, so he's saying that, yeah, right.
You know what I find hurtful about you being into gossip?
What's that?
I've never got a call.
Oh, really?
I've heard of the Dave O'Neill calls to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, Thorno. You were speaking
No,
Chandler.
no,
Chandler.
yeah.
Right.
I've never gone.
Well, he's a big gossip.
Yeah,
So-
I'm up for gossip.
But so Husey actually starts every conversation with me with, what's the gossip?
Yeah. I'll talk shit with the
mate.
best of them.
I love it. But, you
When
know,
I mean talk shit, I mean...
yes.
Yeah.
We talk
Just-
about gigs and what's happened and...
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do. What's going on? What's happening? What happening? No, did you hear about this one? You know, like interesting stuff.
And
stuff
then I
that
love
makes the world go round.
I love the 10-second conversations where you go, do you want to hear who did really well at a gig?
Nah.
Oh, nah.
Nah.
Who did fucking
Yeah,
shit?
yeah,
All right,
yeah,
let's
it's
go.
a classic. It's like an old joke. That's true though. Now I'm trying to work out on this podcast. I always try and work out where I first met you, and I'm getting a. I remember I met you with Cody. I reckon.
So I think I know.
Well, hang on. I remember talking to you at a gig in Newport at the what's that hotel, the Exchange Hotel or something, and you did a routine about. I reckon I met you before this though, but I remember watching you and you did a routine about a sat-nav thing that talked to you. Is that right?
It sounds hacky enough that it would have been in my first routines, but I don't actually remember that. But I reckon I paid for our first introduction.
Oh, what was that?
I paid to do a comedy course thing.
Oh,
where,
at Melbourne Uni?
No, in St Kilda for I've forgotten the woman's name, but she ran Mel maybe, and she ran
I remember that.
and it was an all day thing.
And Troy Kinney was
where
there.
basically me and John OKT were the only people that.
And Troy
we sat
Kinney.
there. Bev Killick spoke. You spoke, and I still remember. And I think
Yeah.
this is good advice. I still remember to this day what you said.
What did I say?
And I think you'd know.
Yeah, it was in a theatre, wasn't it? It was in like the National...
Yeah, but there was like
There were three
it was-
people there.
and none of us. And she said, if you pay to do the course, you'll get a gig at the Elephant Wheelbarrow. And so I was
Yes.
like, great, this is an investment. And I never got the gig. I went to that fucking Elephant Wheelbarrow gig like 10 weeks in a row.
Yeah, I
and,
remember that gig
Man, never.
in St
Anyway,
Kilda.
never got a gig there. But you said it was about car. You said have a license. It's great.
Oh, yeah,
So you
have
can-
a lot. Yeah,
you can
right. Yeah,
drive
okay.
in.
Yeah, because I'm always amazed how many comics don't have a license.
Yeah, and for so long that was how I got. It was like, hey man, you can have this gig down in wherever, an hour away. By the way, you have to drive everyone. To the thing. I was like, that's great. But you also were like, I've been making a living from comedy for a long time, and you said about this about yourself. But you said I'm not the best, but
I'm not the worst.
yeah, I'm not the worst. And also, you were like, I'm a nice guy. Like,
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
true.
you don't pick the best comic. You pick who I want to do the 3-hour car drive with.
That's so true. That's,
And I
that's how
remember
TV shows
thinking-
are put together.
Man, I remember I still
Yeah.
that still rockets around my head
Yeah, yeah. As you know now, because you're heavily in
because
TV.
I'm not the best and not the worst, but a nice guy. And we were doing a 3-hour
You
car
know
drive.
that on TV shows and radio shows, they'll bring up people's name and they just need someone to go,
Man.
"Oh, he's a fuckhead."
Just not an asshole.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what you want.
Yeah, and it's the same
And
theory.
it should be easy, but that's surprisingly difficult.
Yeah, and some people can't help themselves.
Yeah.
Because of their whatever, they've had trauma or they're just.
Oh well, that's a weird place to take that, but yeah.
But that's
No,
not.
but
that's.
I mean,
you know.
I just meant a personality.
Yeah, a personality.
Don't be a
trait.
dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean.
Or the alcoholics, or
Well, I mean, still.
There's a lot of that going around.
There is a lot. It's because we work at night and often we only get paid in free beer.
It's true. It's true. You can always get a free drink.
You know, the first gig I got paid for, I was with Celia Pacquola
I've heard of her.
and Fox Klein.
I've heard of him too, Fox Klein.
And so we drove, so I obviously live in Melbourne, and we drove to Wagga Wagga. So
Oh my god,
3
it's
hours.
like 3-4 hours. 4
Yeah.
hours.
And so I offered to drive, and thankfully they were together at the time. And they said they'll drive.
Oh, okay.
And on the way down there, I was like, "How good is this? Getting paid for a gig?"
The Wagga
And
Wagga.
they go, "How much are you getting paid?" And I was a bit embarrassed because I didn't want to brag about how much I was getting
Yeah.
paid. And I said, $50.
Oh, fuck.
And they started laughing. And I said, "How much? What? Why? Why you guys work? What are you guys getting paid?" And Fox was getting 500 and Siri was getting 400.
And you
I
were
was
getting $50
$50.
Fuck, it wouldn't even cover the petrol to Wagga Wagga.
No,
What was the gig like anyway?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was in like a classroom. You know.
But how long did you would have started? Let me think. 12 years ago.
Yeah, about that.
With Cody, Nick Cody, was it around then?
Yep. So Cody and I reckon did our first festival shows in a place called the Q Club, which doesn't exist now, which actually is not far from here, on Brunswick Street. And it was a pool parlour, which had a band room off to the side.
Oh God, yeah, right.
And it was. And the guy that ran that was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And before every show, we'd do Jaeger bombs and I honestly thought. At the time, I was like, "This is
this is living."
Man, I had so much fun.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely loved it. We'd get there early before our shows, and we'd play Buck Hunter non-stop, drink, and my sister was doing tech, and my best friend was doing door.
Mate, you're living the dream.
Yeah.
We used to have my home number as the booking number. People would ring up and go, and the guy would go, "Is that you?
Yeah.
Is you like Dave?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's me." This was before mobile phones, I reckon. It was so long ago.
I had the same thing with flyers because I didn't realise that doing a comedy festival show outside of Melbourne CBD was insane, and so I would flyer up and down Brunswick Street for hours, and it would be long enough that the people I'd flyered would have been drinking, and then they'd get to the show and they're like, "Hang on,
oh, you're the guy?
Yeah,
you fly?
What do you mean? You're the flyering guy who's doing the comedy."
Jesus, what year was that? You reckon was that 90? 2000?
No, 2000.
You were 90s.
6 or 7 maybe.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe no, later. Maybe I don't know, but
something like that. Yeah. I remember seeing you guys around. Definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. But as you know, there's quite a big attrition rate. And you're still here, and you're done very well.
But again, this comes back to your words of advice.
Yeah.
All those years ago, which I paid $50 to attend the daytime workshop of,
yes.
Which was I've stuck around. Essentially, was your advice.
I also said don't give up.
Yes, you said.
I would have said don't give up.
You said I'm not the best, I'm not the worst. I'm not an asshole, and I've stuck around.
I'm still going. Oh man, everyone.
And here we are.
Here we are. I'm doing a podcast in my car on a Wednesday night. Yeah, but that's true. You got to keep going.
Yes.
You got to keep, and that's something that you and Cody and people that have done.
That's insulting.
Just keep going. Well, look, you've all both had success though.
Yeah, no.
Because not everyone has success. That's the thing. But you've
maybe they haven't kept going long enough.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. As we know, some of the funniest guys drop out. Some of the funniest guys and girls drop out.
The whole secret to this whole industry is
keep
that,
going.
And also the funniest people don't attempt it.
Yeah, well,
if everybody attempted it, we'd all be fucked.
I know. You meet guys in shops or factories or whatever, and they're fucking hilarious.
So funny.
Yeah.
Mate, I got out with my friends, and
yeah, they're funnier than
absolutely.
Yeah, my brother's
close to the funniest guy in the room.
My mum always says your brother's funnier than you, Mark. And I go, yeah, he is, but he's working in a school.
Yeah.
So he should do comedy.
yeah. And thanks, Mum.
yeah, thanks, Mum. He's the real funny one. Yeah, thanks, Mum.
Yeah, good, Mum. That's what I need.
And so now you do every Sunday on the project?
I do every Sunday, yes.
Yeah, that's a great gig.
Yeah.
Because you've built up as we saw tonight, the pub was packed. And you've built up a big following. From that, you reckon? Or from the radio combination?
I don't know, because I don't have anything to bear with.
Yeah.
We
should have asked.
I also think doing festival
year after year,
and making sure that you do a good show. I've noticed.
So you do a whole hour. You do a whole new hour every year.
Yeah.
How many years in a row have you done it, you reckon?
10, maybe.
Wow, that's impressive.
I did my first one too early, though.
Yeah, everyone does that.
Yeah. But then just kept. And I did go in with that kind of business mentality of, if all the people that came the year before come back, and then there's some more, we can't, just by maths, this can't fail.
Was there a year when you really broke, like you reckon, when you really just went, it just tipped over? Must have been when
this year?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
maybe? I don't know.
I know Brad Oakes, regular correspondent on this podcast, said that it was several years ago that it just sort of tipped over, he thought. I don't know, it would have been 2 or 3 years ago. But that's often to do with media exposure. Like you do a good go. Oh, you know what it was? You know what? I'm nailed it in my brain. When you did your netball set on the gala.
Oh, sorry. So first gala.
Yeah.
So I went from doing my first gala. Yes, absolutely. My first gala overnight, I sold out the rest of my run and
from that spot
and put on all these extra shows.
And that's where you did the netball routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great routine because that similar thing happened to Hughesy. He did, and they must have put your spot on early in the broadcast.
Man, I honestly don't know, but I do know that I worked like that spot because I was just doing stand-up at the time and not...
not doing radio or anything, or TV, yeah.
I was at Adelaide Fringe for the whole month, and every night before my show, I would get up and do a 5-minute spot, and I'd do my... that gala... the
netball routine.
Working, and they didn't really edit it. Like, I kept it under 4 minutes, and they didn't change anything, and so just...
Yeah, you smashed
I was lucky
it. You smashed, so you'd practiced it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Janet McLeod, I think, who did the information booth, said people came up saying, I want to see the guy who does the netball jokes from the gala.
What?
Yeah, she told me that. I remember that.
Yeah.
So that would have been about, how many years ago was that? 7 years ago, you reckon? Or?
Yeah. 6, yeah.
This is a very deep analysis of your career, actually.
I'm just wondering how many people are still listening. I'm more interested in the penguin on your dashboard.
Yeah, I got a penguin on the dashboard.
Why is it there?
I like penguins. My favourite animal. And my kids buy me penguins occasionally.
The pandas might.
Oh, you like pandas?
Yeah, I love them.
You've been to China to see them? Or?
No, I haven't.
I've seen penguins in Phillip Island.
Do you know? I mean, that's Phillip Island. That's less of a journey than.
Yeah, I know. China.
Do you know China owns all the pandas in the world?
I didn't know that. They own every panda in the world.
So everyone else all the pandas are leased out from China.
Bullshit.
True story.
That's an actual fact.
Look it up.
Man, that is a great fact. Do you ever go to that pub there?
I do when I want.
Dodgy,
I used to punt a lot, and I've stopped now.
No, good. Yeah, punting's no good. I don't think
it's the worst. It's the easiest one for your whole life. Bang to go. Like at least with drugs or something, you have a whole experience and stuff.
Addicted.
You can have one night of punting, and you can lose everything. Well, anyway, I used to go there when I punted a lot.
Yeah, it's a classic. They've been there for years. That pub.
Yeah, the Park Spew.
The Park Spew, mate.
We shouldn't give away where we are.
Your location. Oh my god,
it could be anything.
Anything could happen. There's a few of those sort of hotels around there with that name. Don't worry. Anyway, you're listening to Debrief. I'm with Tommy Little. I'll just have a break and we'll be back, Tommy. And then we're winding up soon. Don't worry.
Well, I want to get out of the car.
Yeah, we're looking sus. Hey, this is Dave O'Neill.
And Glenn Robbins.
And we do a podcast called Somehow Related.
And we talk about two random topics that you wouldn't think were related, but in actual fact, they are.
Yes, it's a great podcast. We love it. We listen to it ourselves.
Come along, join in. Don't bet, don't gamble, but
don't
learn
Google.
Something. And if you go to a dinner party, you've got a perfect way to start a conversation.
So many facts to bore people with on this podcast. Tune in. Somehow Related. We're back on the debrief with Tommy Little. He's looking at his phone.
Can you spin around and put me out the side of my
I will actually turn around, but I'll ask you questions.
Is it quick
first.
fire? I'll make it quick fire.
If I want to get out of here. Fair enough, I understand. It's Wednesday night.
Yeah.
You might have some sort of booty call on your phone or...
Yeah, I don't, but let's pretend I do.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Are you on those apps?
Hang on,
I know Hughie's obsessed by you.
Oh, no, it's McGregor.
Because I've actually done... Does he want you to bring home milk or...?
No, he's fine. He's just wondering where I am. It's late.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
We have a catch-up. We have a Milo and catch-up.
We'll have a whiskey.
I have a whiskey. Because I know I actually have done Hughie's show.
We actually have a Milo. I was just pretending. Yeah. I didn't think you'd get me much street cred if I said it.
Nothing wrong with Milo, mate. Nothing wrong with Milo.
Yeah, that's true.
I've done Hughie's show with you, and he's obsessed by your... Because, of course, he's married, so all married men are obsessed by men who are out there on the dating scene, and he's obsessed about you and apps.
Yeah, he is.
And dating apps. And
he asks with a frenzied look in his eyes.
Yeah.
That is disturbing.
Well,
he doesn't go, hey, mate, how are the apps? He goes, mate. And it's
like,
whoa.
We didn't have them. They weren't around.
So nothing's different. No one understands this, but nothing has changed.
Yeah,
so
you still get rejected.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I'm sure there are people that do it better than I do it, or different than I do it. But I've never just met up with someone and rooted. Like, that's never happened.
Yeah, see, that's what we all think these apps are,
yes,
but they're not.
It's not. It's just people in relationships romanticize about it.
Yeah, right.
Even before the apps, they go, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be out tonight rooting everyone. It's like, you never were before. What the fuck's changed now? You're 5 years older. You're fucking bitter. What?
Yeah,
now you're a root machine, you reckon, do you, mate?
That is so true. That's fucking funny. You should do that in stand-up. I'll send you a recording.
Delete it off this.
Yeah, if you're not doing it, I'll be doing it. Fuck, O'Neill's doing it. Oh, that sounds familiar, that bit. Look, I'll be on the gala next year. It'll set me up for life. Anyway, I ask everyone these questions.
Yes.
All right? So
How many?
There's only 4.
Okay.
What went well tonight and why?
What went well tonight? For me or the crowd? Me?
Whatever.
I did a brand new thing about being overseas.
Was that new? That Italian thing?
I haven't done it. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. The annoying thing is I used a hacky bail thing of I was speaking in an Italian accent.
Yeah, that was funny though.
Yeah, but I didn't have an end because.
Yeah, and you said, "Why are you speaking like this?"
Yes,
yeah, that's funny though.
Yeah, but that's not a real end to a bit. So
that's real enough for me.
Yeah, sure. But so that was.
You didn't listen to my talk.
That was good. That was good.
No, that was funny because that is your observation. I don't want to ruin your bit, but your observation about.
Well, it's us having too many rules, essentially.
Yeah, and you go to Italy and it's like, oh man, Italy's great. When did you go to Italy?
2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Where'd you go in Italy?
Bologna to visit Katie Lambrook because we did Husey and Kate and Carrie and Tommy.
How's she going?
Yeah, like
crazy?
Someone that's living in Italy. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. Hang on. That's question 1. Yep. Right. So
I got to go too.
Yeah.
And so, what didn't go well?
What didn't go well? I mean, it was fine.
All your stuff was good.
No, but it was fine. So I didn't really put. That was the only thing I kind of put out. Was like new because I'm still doing touring my old show. So I didn't.
Yeah.
It was fine. There was nothing that was a real clang out. You know what didn't go well, and it's actually the worst it's ever gone. Was I asked the crowd if anyone's had a dry spell, and no one spoke up, and one chick put her friend in it.
That's right.
And that didn't go well.
Yeah, right.
Because then I was like, well, you're an asshole putting your friend in it.
Yeah, that was funny though.
And then I kind of asked her when you guys took it, and everyone's like, why are you asking? And so that didn't go well. Yeah.
And were there any organisational hazards that got in the way?
Of the show?
Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't shake a hand. You introduced me, and I put my hand out to shake your hand, and then you gave me like a finger, like an adult does to a baby. Yeah. And I was like, what the fuck am I meant to do with this finger? And then you gave me your other hand. So now I've got a finger and a hand to deal with.
I don't know what was going on there. I have no idea what was happening. And how can we do better next time?
Well, don't finger me when I'm trying to get on stage.
Tommy Little, ladies and gentlemen. There he goes. And catch him all around Australia. And he's on the project. And good
Radio.
Radio. Every day. Every Monday, Friday. We carry. That's right. On the Today Network. Thanks, Tommy.
The Hit Network. Thanks, Dave.
They've changed, have they?
Well, that's the Sydney.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.